reality,
UFOs,
science,
consciousness.
sex, drugs, and rock and roll.
That might not be a real thing. The podcast.
Hey, thanks for listening, everyone. I'm the Candyman, coming at you live with the crew. It's That Might Not Be a Real Thing.
The podcast.
The podcast. If you like the show, you can email us at tmnbart@gmail.com. If you have any ideas, and check us out on Instagram. You can always send us any kind of comments. I did get audience feedback this week, which is albeit from people that we know IRL, but still good stuff. And as always, thanks to Energy Tree for sponsoring the show. Check them out at energytree.com for all your home or any other solar needs. And I just want to give a big shout out to one of the listeners on the show, Andy Fall. Thanks for listening, man. Appreciate the appreciate that you like the show and that you listen.
Hey, Andy.
Hey.
I haven't seen you in a while.
Andy.
Hope you're doing good.
Also, thank you for making it a career to teach the next generation and the generation and the generation after that.
He's a good guy.
Science.
The next generation.
The next generation.
Just all the kids. He teaches people that are young children science.
That was one of my favorite teachers, actually, in high school, was my chemistry teacher, and he really got me into where I am now.
That's
Same.
because he was cooking meth with a former student.
I'm just saying, elementary science teacher,
Bitch.
K through 12, I don't care. Any science teacher of the kids, that's, in my book, top 10 most meaningful jobs in the world that you can do to like contribute to the humanity. Unless, of course, we're a terrible curse on the world and the world would be better without us. I don't know, but
Kingsley's actually up for a job right now as an associate scientist.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
We should do a thing that and you can do this too.
That's a point. He does. Drake been doing some
know.
whiskey today. I could tell.
No.
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
But we should do an Easter egg where you guys say these little things from Star Trek in your regular conversations, and whoever's listening has to do a shot when they realize it.
Oh, that's a good one.
Like you just said, next generation. Like that wasn't purposeful.
Yeah. That's a
You're
good
saying I have to say
resistance is futile.
Whenever you guys say something from Star Trek,
the needs of the many outweigh the needs of the few. Or the one.
Yeah.
The audience has to stop what they're doing and be like, "Oh, Star Trek quote, take a shot." Or hit a weed.
Yeah.
Whichever you
Hit
have.
a weed is probably better.
Yeah, whatever your
Engage.
Yeah.
Engage. Bam, right there. We're going to get some people fucked up. if those are the facts. So, exciting show today. We got a little switcher up a Rooski. We're talking about isms. Okay. And apparently, according to the internet, there are 234 known or recognized isms. I picked some of the main ones that everybody knows. And we're going to go around the room and talk. Everyone gets a little, their 2 cents. I don't think I get mine. Maybe I will. But
no, I want you to. And I thought we were talking about prisms, so I'm prepared.
Damn it! You thought we were talking about different shaped glass lenses.
Yes.
And in fact, it's isms, not.
It's a new thing I know about it.
You must.
So let's go. We can do isms.
I heard orgasms. So
Okay. You heard asms.
Asms, yeah. I heard asms.
So we're all confused here.
But before we get into that, this just in, as in I just was briefed on it 2 minutes ago. Mac has got a new segment he's launching on the show, and that's all I got. Take it away.
Well, why don't you do the first segment first, Danny D?
What's that?
Which is the one you've been doing, the song of the week.
Oh, I'll start song of the week, sure. In September 2nd, Megadeth is coming out with a new album called The Sick, The Dying, and The Dead. And they have a new song out to preview it called We'll Be Back, and that's my song of the week.
Wow. And I feel
Megadeth.
like you
what
really
is it?
sold that.
Megadeth, We'll Be Back.
Yeah.
What's the name of the album?
The Sick, The Dying, and The Dead.
But what's the song?
You
of the
sold
week?
it more on the
The
first.
song of the week is We'll Be Back. It's a new badass new Megadeth song. And the new album comes up September 2nd, so kind of cool. I like when
I'll have to check that out.
new heavy metal albums like that come out.
I feel like the first time you say you're like Megadeth has a new album. It's called "The Sick, the Dying, and the Weak."
Yeah. well, Def
You
Leppard just
sold
came out with a
that.
Def Leppard came out with a new album recently, and it sucks. It's like pop. So this is a good shit.
Well, my song of the week doesn't really pair well with that one. But
Dancing Queen.
no, I do like ABBA though.
I do too.
I don't care. I do not like Dancing Queen. That's probably the biggest song. Like
no,
I don't
I
like
like
that
that
song.
song.
It's too like I don't know. Not into it.
It's a very drunk girl club song, like a wedding song.
It's over. I think
gay
it's
song- it's a gay
overdone. But
song, too.
I'm just not into it.
Yeah. Dancing.
Oh
Queen.
yeah, that's true. I never thought.
I'm more into like Mamma Mia. Here I go again. Mamma Mia.
Is that them?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Or Fernando.
Oh, that's a good one
ABBA's
too.
got some weird
Yeah.
songs. There's apparently some dudes in that band I didn't know about.
Yeah, there's two of them. I
They
believe.
must
Yeah, they're.
have no nut sacks or
My-
something. All right. So you know what? My song of the week is I have a couple written down, so I want to like not. I don't want to opposite vibe you, so I'm going to go with kind of a rougher one, and it's "Icky Thump" by the White Stripes, Jack White.
Oh, I love them.
How's that go?
Well, one line that really resonated with me was he's like, "Hey, Americans, what you got? Nothing better to do? Why don't you kick yourselves out? You're an immigrant too."
Whoa,
And then
Heavy.
something about like
straight Canadian.
he's saying that you
shit
can't
dog.
have it both ways and be a pimp and a prostitute, which I'm not 100% sure on what that's about, but I think he's referencing that like we want people from other countries to come here and do the jobs that we don't want them to do, but we don't want people from other countries to come here. So it's like,
Yeah.
hey man, you can't have it both ways. Like either you're an open country to give people opportunities, or you're fascist and you suck.
Yeah.
Which isn't fascism is an ism. But before we get into that,
Organism.
organism, totally different thing.
All right. Oh shit!
Is
That was my sound effect for my new segment.
That's the get ready.
Want me to play it again? Wait, shit.
It's like a warning, 2-minute warning. This is coming at you.
This
Oh,
is
this is the wrong one.
this is the beginning of his segment.
Gunning, coming at you. For something to get you. I gotcha, I gotcha.
Wow.
No one can capture the Method Man stature for rhyming for rapture.
Whoa. Wow. Okay.
Bro, you have no idea how many people I surprise when I break out with some hardcore like Wu-Tang, or like I already told you, like I did the fucking big ballin', smashing, making my hands. I did the whole Fat Pat verse from that song on the internet with some brothers one time, and they were like, "Oh shit, man!" They're like, "I don't even know people that can get it like that." And I was like, "Well, you have to listen to it for 20 years nonstop while you're at work smoking joints, and trust me, you will figure out the lyrics."
Yeah.
That's true. All right. My new segment is going to be, I don't have a cool name for it yet, but
Not yet.
I'm just going to, what I've always done for a long time is like intro people to new music, new artists. So that's what I'm going to do.
Cool.
For this one, if you're a hip hop fan, it'll probably mostly be hip hop. But I ask you to check out a group called Coast Contra.
Coast
Contra.
Contra.
4 MCs. They're all lyricists. They're all dope. And you can see they're probably making a lot of headway on the TikTok and the Instagram, because they do like a podcast like this, and
Yeah.
then they freestyle or kick rhymes over it, and
Oh,
then
that's
they
cool.
film it. So it's really cool. But they have an album out. But hit up Coast Contra. Very dope. Check them out.
Both.
Up, down, down, left, right. AB start.
Yeah, very much so.
AB select start.
You know, if I'm not mistaken, just because I'm not, believe it or not, a historian, were the Contras anti-communist resistance fighters in South America? Is that what that?
Yeah.
Is that what that word was originally come from? Contras. It's nothing to do with Africa.
No. It was definitely South America, but I don't know.
Yeah, no, I'm pretty sure it's anti-communist freedom fighters. They were known as the Contras. Somebody fact check it and fucking email us, man.
Also, maybe let the fans name your new segment.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You guys
let's
wanna-
do that.
We're we're open to that.
Just
for sure.
email TMNBART.
What's the new
Great
segment?
idea.
Did you say what the new segment was?
He wants
just
to. He
new
wants
music,
To, he wants to introduce.
new
Oh,
He
artists.
wants to use.
okay.
He wants to
New-
use his platform, his voice on this platform, to spread
Good
what he
hip-hop.
considers to be new, notable
Intro to new artists.
new artists.
Not even new, but like maybe unheard of, or
Not not the celebrity.
Noteworthy.
some people
Yeah.
may have heard of them.
Are they
Yeah, right,
Are they
right.
noteworthy?
I think they're gaining. They're gaining a lot of
Notoriety.
Can we do maybe new and noteworthy?
that sounds too boring.
That sounds boring.
I just fell
Sorry,
asleep.
I'll just go
Yeah.
fuck myself. Sorry for trying to help you with a cool name
We
for your
gotta let
segment.
the younger crowd name this.
Yeah, no, it's cool. I'm just sit over here and just
We're all
fuck myself.
we're all too old for that.
Yeah. Hi, this is new and Sean. New and noteworthy. Well, this week's new and noteworthy is
Hip hop till you drop.
Do you even like rock music at all? Do you even know any?
yeah, I know a lot.
All right.
AC/DC.
All right. All right.
Not bad, not bad.
You're allowed to like whatever
He
you
dropped
like.
a name.
Just,
You know.
Everybody knows ACDC.
Metallica.
There you go.
it's dropping bombs.
Guns N' Roses.
Did you just say gums and roses?
Gums
Yeah,
N'
but
Roses.
I could also do obscure,
You just
obscure
read that
bands.
off the
I'm reading all his shirts.
I could do obscure bands too. Like Megadeth is not obscure; they're huge. But
Pantera's the
There-
band.
Yeah.
yeah, you can't see that.
They had
anymore.
one album called that was your
Cowboys from Hell.
Cowboys from Hell.
Jesus Christ.
Well,
Contras. Okay, Contras were a group for the
Anti-communist
purpose of
freedom fighters.
overthrowing the Nicaraguan government.
Nicaraguan.
Contra was a
okay, so
1989 video game.
Yeah, they were the rebels. I think probably Nicaragua was
think-
under communist rule.
I think I think the Russians would probably go in there and say, "Hey, you want to join the Communist Union? We'll give you some tanks and some AK-47, maybe a nuke."
Grenade.
Who knows? But that's a crazy thing, and it's a perfect segue into this week's little game. We're gonna go around the room and talk about isms. In Ferris Bueller, he does a quote at the beginning. Dan, I'm sure you know it by heart.
Yeah, I'm not European. I don't plan
Well,
on
he's talking
being
about,
European.
He's talking about isms.
So who gives a crap if they're socialists? They could be fascist anarchists. It still wouldn't change the fact that I don't own a car.
Yeah, he's like, I don't believe in isms. Is the first thing he says.
I don't believe in isms. I only
So-
to quote John Lennon. I just believe in me. I think it was. Or something.
Yeah. So if you look on the Google, it says a distinctive practice, system, or philosophy, typically a political ideology or an artistic movement. And so then when you dig deeper into it, there are like apparently 234 known isms.
And you can add it to a lot of words just to make a new one.
Yeah, I did it myself in the pool while I was thinking about it. I was like, wait a second, I'll just throw this on here. And now it's an ism. But apparently, whoever's in charge of this shit, they say there's 234 of them. That's what's up there. So I'm going to start it out. And the game is basically you just have to decide in the grand scheme of humanity, has this ism been a good thing, a bad thing, or... You guys want to pick neutral? Are you allowed to go neutral? Or you want to go hardcore, black or white?
Can I ask a
Yep.
question first? How did in your research did you find like how something gets officially characterized as an ism?
I
or-
just said whoever
I
wrote,
think it just organically happened.
whoever these 234 recognized isms are. Somebody counted them out, wrote them, defined them, and then they were like, "That's it."
All right, made
The door's
book.
over.
It's the book. One day you do it all. You take care of things. You make some money. Keep your nose clean. We'll put you in the book.
I don't.
That's from that's from Mafia guys.
But that's an ism.
Mafia-ism? No, I'm just saying, like, how the hell did all these isms become isms?
How did they
'Cause you
become
can just add
recognized?
you can add it to anything.
Jism.
Yeah,
That's what he's saying. But
that's
I'm-
what I know. And that was my follow-up. That triggered my brain.
Wow.
How the hell did these things become this officially?
I just want. I don't know. But we're gonna go around the room, and I'm gonna say an ism, and you're gonna tell me if you think it's good or bad, and if you want to, you can define it. But we're gonna start out with not one of my particular favorites, Catholicism. We go
Oh,
right.
I got a good one for that.
I'm gonna go right at Dan. Go ahead.
That Catholicism, the most prolific. This could be a description of Catholicism, modern day Catholicism. The most prolific pedophile ring on the planet, and in the past also the most prolific war machine on the planet.
Yeah, I agree with that shit.
They are the most prolific pedophiles. This is a religious organization. Fuck.
And they're
Don't even
controlling.
get me started on Mother Teresa.
They're controlling an
God.
enormous amount of minds on the planet with
Oh,
their
they're terrible.
dogma. King, what do you got? Catholicism. They feed little kids bread. Some countries, and
That's nice. That's nice.
so grand scheme of humanity.
Meanwhile, bend over, kid.
To tack on to what Dan said, my dad was really close to being one of those children. So I'm gonna stand. I think that's why I married him, is because we both.
Anti-Catholic.
Yeah.
I had 12 years of Catholic school, so I'm super anti-Catholic.
My grandmother is super religious.
Yeah, my mom's gonna be canonized as a Catholic saint when she dies.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
believe me.
She is
Yeah.
the same, though.
She's a sweetheart.
My
of a
my
lady.
grandmother goes to like Nicaragua and Guatemala, and like they build houses, and she's going to Ethiopia soon.
How do they...
with her church to go and spread the word and stuff. But it's wonderful that she's doing these things for these people, but
Yeah, but how do they look past the hypocrisy?
No, I know that's for me. That's
Frustrating.
don't push it on me.
what about you, Macca? Catholicism. You have to weigh in on it. I know you're a nice Irish Catholic boy over there, but Catholicism. Grand scheme of humanity.
Well, let's see. And is there like Hinduism following this, and Buddhism, and like
Buddhism's on my list.
Muslim,
Sure.
Islamism,
Islamism, I guess. Are we just talking
We
about
all these, or are we
we
focused?
just talking about religion
I just
here?
picked Catholicism,
Oh, okay.
straight up.
Okay.
Oh well,
I'm not talking about all world religions.
yeah. So this is Catholicism, as in the religion.
I'm just saying,
Yeah.
has this
Yeah.
then
Not
been
Christianity,
in the
Catholicism.
grand
As a
scheme and the
whole.
grand way out? Has
The
it been
Catholic
good,
Church.
bad, or indifferent for humanity?
Well, I think partly both. I think a lot of people were murdered and tortured and enslaved to become Catholics. And then there's a lot of gold stolen in the
Yeah.
name of Jesus Christ in for that institution. But I think in general, there was probably some good that was done if we turn our backs to the
All the bad?
Ted Bundy was
Hundreds.
polite to people sometimes, too.
hundreds of years of molestation and
Yeah.
Yeah, so too bad for the
But
Catholics.
people-
you get a unanimous thumbs down, I think, across.
people are happy from it. So I'm more of a
It gives
He's a
people
neutral.
it gives people something to hang on to,
I'm
which
neutral
they
on it.
need. You know,
something to
I get
believe
it.
in.
People, yeah. Well, I mean,
because if there's probably something terrible with everything. So
so the next one's I didn't put them in.
Anyway.
I think I actually had put them in alphabetical order, but the next one, is capitalism. But that doesn't seem like it comes after T in the alphabetical order. So somewhere along the lines, they got screwed up. But
yeah,
capitalism, Dan.
Pure capitalism, I'm not a fan of, but mostly a high-level capitalism, sure. You win or you lose, but there's also help for the losers. But, I'm okay with capitalism. Why not?
It drives things. You think it's a
Yeah, I
good thing.
think it's better than all the other systems. I think it's better than communism and socialism and all that. Fascism.
Yeah, but those are on the list. We'll get to it.
Okay, so I think it's better. But I think I like the free market, but I don't like the secret fucking government or powers of the world controlling it like it's a game instead of just letting it be a free market. But also, I think this should be helpful for people too, and I think things like healthcare should be free. I think certain things should be able to be like a right that we give ourselves.
It's 2022. If everyone doesn't get health care, what the hell are we doing here?
That's insane that somebody would have to deal with crippling health bills.
Okay, I get that it costs a lot of money, but just don't make 6 extra nukes this year. What's
Yeah, well, the war budget and the military budget is innovation. I mean, But then there's part of that is like, with the United States of America, we're badasses for a reason because we put,
You gotta understand, capitalism is adopted by the United States of America, but the ism itself is just the idea that, like, financial motivation should drive things, basically.
I think it's a good thing, but I think there's a lot of bad things about it too, like inflation and bullshit we're dealing with right now, and like price gouging and stuff. Like, there's got to be.
Well, that's economics.
I mean,
that's not capitalism.
Okay, well, this is also true too. Is Danny D doesn't know shit about stuff like this in politics.
I know.
So don't ask me. Keep going. Let's go on the line.
All right.
That was basically going to be my answer because I know nothing.
It's not your wheelhouse.
Not my wheelhouse.
That's why we suck with money.
Don't worry.
Stuff.
Don't worry. The next one you're gonna get. The next one you'll
okay.
You know a lot about
Okay.
it. You'll be okay.
I bet Sean will be good with this one.
Yeah, so I guess my thoughts on capitalism are, if a lot of people were murdered, tortured, and enslaved to make it work. And if we turn our backs on the years of molestation,
Basically, the
child
thing.
That's gonna be my answer for everything.
2 isms down the toilet.
Look.
This time it's just girls and they're just being trafficked. That's what capitalism
No,
is there.
I'm for it and I'm against it. Like, people get fucking greedy and
There's no perfect
everything
system.
in capitalism, everything is for sale.
I don't think there's a perfect system.
I don't know if there is no, nothing's perfect. But what I'm saying is that for me, for capitalism, what I don't like about it is that it's out of control at this point. Like,
It's a monster. It's an organism.
like, it's so entrenched in society and like product placement in movies and
Right.
The picture of what success is. And like my kid's sister was over the other day talking to me about whether or not she should go on this like trip to Italy and blah blah blah, and like with the right, and I'm explaining to her like what we talk about on the show sometimes, how like, don't worry about like this picture of success. Like, I know what I told her. I was like, what real success is? I was like, real success is like being happy with who you are, having healthy relationships with people that you care about, having enough money to like take care of yourself and the people you care about,
Enjoying life, looking forward to the future.
Yeah, and like being happy and like with who and what you are in your situation, and having stuff that you enjoy, working towards. I was like, all the other, the pursuit of huge amounts of wealth. It's like anyone will tell you, it's not going to make you happy. Like, you're going to get a bunch of money, but that's not success. But everyone tells you it is. Like, everything is like telling you success is this, is this, is this. So I just like. What I think has happened is it's led to a massive amount of people being depressed because they can't achieve this thing they're seeing on
Social media.
Just whatever.
Everywhere.
TV, the movies, the internet, books. Does anyone read magazines anymore? I don't know.
I get inked magazines.
Virtual magazines. So I just feel like capitalism's good. It drives technology and stuff like that forward, but like the bad side of it is that it's out of control right now, and everyone's depressed and wants to blow their brains out because their Mercedes isn't as nice as the guy next to him,
Yeah, right.
I don't know.
But is that capitalism, or is that
Consumerism.
another ism that was formed out of capitalism?
Yeah.
Consumerism.
And how deep does it go?
So
They're all tied together, the fucking things, man. I'm telling you, most of them are no good. But let's get to one that you guys should know about, and that's hedonism.
Okay.
It's one of my favorites. Hedonism, for those who don't know what it is not just a resort in Jamaica, although they did name their resort Hedonism, which I respect. Hedonism is a philosophy that you're just constantly, and I am a pretty hardcore hedonist, you're just constantly in the pursuit of pleasuring yourself and, on occasion, people around you.
Yeah, but my take on it is there's a measured hedonism. Deny yourself nothing, but certain things. I'm sorry, they're gonna bite the beast. They're gonna come back at you tenfold. Like heroin use. Heroin's real fun, but it's gonna bite you back tenfold. It's gonna ruin your life. So like hedonism to a point, like there are things you can do to like manage and measure it.
Healthy
like,
hedonism.
Healthy hedonism. Sure, I'm all for that. I think you, for the most part, is calculated. Your hedonism. You're not just all out like just throwing. Coke
yeah,
up
you're
your
not like
nose
wilding
and,
out. Yeah, like crazy.
Like.
No, point of fact, I'm saving for the. I'm pretty sure I've discussed it on air, but if you're new to the show, the only drugs that I've ever done are, I mean, not counting what they pump me. You know, I've been pumped full of opiates through the medical system and and all that other stuff. And then like when we were in college, you could just order like Vicodin on the internet, and we didn't know it was dope at the time. So like a bunch of us were like, we should do that. We should get like 60 of them and split them up, right?
Yeah, I'll take 15 of them.
But we never knew, like we didn't know at the time what was going on. The minute we did, we were like, yeah, that's not a good thing. But I'm just not into hard drugs because they're gonna fucking probably make me feel awesome, and then like afterwards I'm gonna be like, ooh, I want to do that again. And the thing is with hedonism is that like all organisms are basically driven by the basic pain pleasure response system. It's something either feels good or it doesn't, and based on that you either do it or you don't. It's like the other day I was peeing and I was like, man, it's not the same as having like blowing your nutsack, but like
it still feels
just
good
at the beginning or the end of a pee when you really got to go. You get a quick little pleasure burst in there. It gives you a reward system, just a little bit.
Girls get it too.
Yeah, and it's to encourage you that, yep, that's what you're supposed to do. You're supposed to pee. It feels good. Let it out.
Listen,
Nice.
Something's a hedonistic pursuit. There's a plus and minus to it. Okay, the plus is how you're gonna feel good from it. The minus is how you're gonna feel bad from it.
Yeah.
So you gotta like certain things that like might working out. There might be a negative to it where it's hard and it makes you tired, whatever. But then there's a plus to it, and that overweighs the negative. But the negative for like heroin overweighs the plus. So like,
which is
like,
why
so that's why
I'm
it's
saving
calculated.
those drugs for when I'm older. You hit the nail on the head earlier. You said that it's great, but it's going to ruin your life. I'm going to wait till life has already ruined itself. Like I'm 65, 70 years old, and I can't.
I don't think it'll be ruined by then. 65,
Yeah, I'm just
70.
saying when I get to the proverbial 60 or 70-year-old mark, probably all right, 70, 80, all right?
Yeah,
when
yeah,
I'm
there you go.
when I'm really old and there's not a lot of time left on the ticker
Approaching life
statistically,
expectancy.
I'm going to try some hard drugs.
There you go.
And most likely get into them seriously. Because
you rolling up.
Well, just because to me it's like, what are the if the doctors aren't already giving them to me at that age to begin with, it just seems to me like it beats the bejesus out of like Alzheimer's and shitting my pants for 5 years in a nursing home.
Yeah,
you know,
that's true.
Even
I'd
sex
rather-
has some of these plus and minuses.
Yeah, sure. Balance is huge in life.
Yeah.
I would. I don't think this is a huge ism on the scale of the world. I think
It's important
part
to
of
me,
it.
so I put it on the list.
Yeah. I think there was like an era in history where this was a thing, where people were just like trying to live like only happiness, but like at some point you're gonna have something bad happen to you and it's gonna suck. And what do? Do you just do whatever you're doing to make it go away?
I just try to maximize the pleasure response system and minimize the pain response system,
Right.
and whatever I can do to achieve that, and I'm gonna try to do it.
All right. Well, there you go. You're sort of you're a hedonist to an extent.
I am a hedonist. It was number one thing I said when I.
That's the one
I
H.
think everybody is to a point.
Right.
Some more than others.
Yeah, they flow towards like the pleasurable over the painful.
I think
What?
it has a connotation of sex, though. Right.
Yeah,
The hedonism.
For Chris, it does.
But that's
I
only.
just in general, my always thought it was about fucking and sucking.
Yeah.
Well, that's only because sex is one of the most pleasurable experiences a human can experience.
Right.
Yeah, but
right.
mine's calculated towards. I'm having sex all the time, but it's calculated because it's monogamy and not like just doing whatever I want. That's the negative of it.
I don't want to get off the isms, but like, what's scary about the experience of like anything, but in particular this, is that like I'm running around doing things. Elon Musk was talking about this with the different parts of the brain and whatever, but like the majority of your brain is basically like devoted to problem solving skills, but really it's doing it to satiate the part of your brain that likes to be pleasured.
Yeah.
So the whole thing is a slave to this. So I'm just aware, like I stopped fighting it, like I know I'm a slave to it. That's all I know.
It's
You
all
know
I
what
know.
I mean?
Yeah.
But yeah, like, dude, if something feels good, people are gonna want to do it, and something feels bad, they don't. And then you get into like masochism, which is like people that derive
Sometimes
pleasure
things that feel
from
bad though feel good to
pain.
people.
So that's a fucking
That's true.
flipping the script upside down.
Why are you winking at me?
But you know what it is?
Feel
It
bad,
doesn't matter.
feel
like,
good.
yeah, and you know what it is?
Wink.
It's not like
Just
I ask you to
try it.
punch me in the face or anything. Fuck.
Try something.
I think that's the next step.
We're evolving to that.
I don't think so, but still.
I don't want
It's
to
hard to
break
be
my
happy
nose.
and just keep doing the same thing over and
Nah,
over
you
again.
just gotta keep pushing.
Pushing the envelope.
Pushing the button.
Progressive overload.
Yeah.
You guys keep making me snort tonight.
That means we're amusing you.
I amuse her every day.
All right, what's
Yeah.
next?
I wish this one had a better rap, especially in our country, because I don't think it's a bad one. I just think it's being run by people and we're screwing it up. But communism.
Communism.
I think by definition.
You're a
Those
fucking
red
commie.
fucking commie bastards.
Can I just give my answer real quick?
Go ahead.
I'm gonna stick with my answer like Sean did. I don't know enough about this shit.
I do a little bit,
to
but like,
weigh in.
listen, it's never worked anywhere.
All I know is that like communists was like Russians,
And like North
Yeah, yeah,
Koreans,
yeah.
right? Okay, and
Cubans.
yeah, that doesn't
It
sound
never
fun. That doesn't
worked.
sound fun.
There
Yeah.
are aspects of it that are appealing, but it's never worked.
Well, I mean, it's kind of working in China.
Well, they have like a capitalist
They have
approach to it.
they have a capitalist.
Yeah, so
approach.
it's not just like here's your money and this is your job. It's like they have it's different.
See, what I've come up with is that all these little isms, right? They all have some good things to them and some bad things to them, right? Like I'm not a fan of Catholicism. I fucking hate it. But like, there's a lot of Catholic people out there that do a lot of good, positive
Yeah.
things for the world.
Even good
Yeah.
priests.
yeah.
Oh yeah,
and they get a lot of
My mother
lot from it.
is one of them. She's she's a wonderful human being. I can't think of anything bad she's ever done
Yeah.
other than create me. And like,
Yeah, but I wouldn't think of her immediately as a wonderful Catholic. I would just think of her as a wonderful person.
yeah, but that's
With-
what I'm
with or
saying.
without Catholicism.
But Catholicism is her core, dude. So this
do
wonderful
you think
human
without
being,
it she would be different?
yeah, of course.
She'd be something
so?
else, though.
I think she'd probably still be a kind-hearted person
Be
because
like
I think
Greek
that's
Orthodox.
I think it's her genetic code to be that way. But she gravitated towards this, it's for better. All these isms are really philosophies, right? So like, religion's a philosophy at the end of the day. It's a practice. It's whatever. But I'm just saying, the isms, some of them are good, some of them are bad. But for government isms, right? You got like, communism has good intentions. It's just basically that, like, you put the community first, and that the needs of the many outweigh the needs of the few.
Yeah, but then the higher ups start
Or the
taking
one.
control, and then it doesn't become
Right.
about that. It becomes about them.
Yeah, and
Take a shot for those listening.
like, bam, that's a Star Trek quote. But what the idea behind communism is that, like, everyone has an equal amount of everything, essentially. Or not necessarily, it doesn't have to be equal, but that everyone has enough. So like, the thing you were talking about
Yeah.
earlier with like the healthcare and stuff like
Right.
that, that's kind of a communist idea.
Yeah.
It's kind of a socialist idea.
Food. Yeah.
Food, right? Like, everyone
Like,
should get
people
food,
pay a lot of
right?
taxes. We could afford to
But then, like,
take care of people like that can't take care of themselves, and we do pretty much.
And
especially in Massachusetts.
and in our country, we have, supposedly democracy, right? But like, it's when we were talking about the overturning of Roe v. Wade, and we're talking about firearms suppression, or being just the laws in general. Any government system has to maintain a balance between like what's okay for them to get governed and like what's personal to the people that they shouldn't be getting involved with, right? So like, but something between these isms is probably like what we need to mesh together. Like, there should
Yeah.
be some socialism, some communism, some fucking democracy, some like, put the best parts of all of them
Cherry
together
pick.
and make a nice
Yeah.
ism.
Cherry
What would we call it?
collectivism.
Let me weigh in on communism.
Please do.
Karl Marx and
That's where it
Yeah.
started. I forgot.
Friedrich
Yeah.
Friedrich Engel Friedrich Engel
Engel.
wrote the Communist Manifesto. Okay,
In the 20s.
two of the great Karl Marx, one of the greatest sociologists
the 20s?
of all times. Oh, like in the mid 1800s.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
And they did this out of a reaction to the perils of capitalism, which is working factory work or whatever. These people are working in these factories or in places where they're being abused.
Work to death.
Right.
No
and
rights.
So, and what it did in their minds is it created two classes of people. One is the bourgeoisie. So you hear a lot of people saying, "Oh, that she's bougie, they're bougie." That's a fucking.
That's a
you're
hip
rich
term with the
you're-
kids.
You're a
Yeah.
rich bitch. You
Yeah.
think you're better than everybody. You're bougie. Then there was the proletariat, which is the working class.
Yeah.
The
So
plebs.
the communism was written to protect the working class people that were being abused by bourgeois,
which is like
Yeah.
95%
Yeah.
of the population.
who at that time were like, "Yo, you're working fucking 20-hour days, and if you die at work, so be it. I get money."
We got another one behind
Yeah,
to fill
and
your spot.
Karl Marx, here's why this has never worked, because Karl Marx said his prediction was that capitalism will eventually fold over onto itself. It will never be like it's feeding off something right now, feeding off people.
Credit.
Eventually, at some point,
Value.
It'll
it's
stop.
not going to work. And so when you get to the United States, we ran with it for a while and we blew up as a superpower. And then obviously a lot of wars happened.
Yeah.
Fighting capitalism, basically. And a lot of people had to die. And we have this form now of like a social capitalism where we're helping poor people. And that happened when there was the Great Depression and everybody
Shit got
lost
real
money.
bad.
But like this is the main argument from the Communist Manifesto. Creating one class of people would end the problem of continuous class struggles and the cycles of revolution between the bourgeois and the proletariat classes, which never lead to true reform.
It's true, dude, because like there's been like throughout history, there's probably, I mean, who knows how many, but like the Greeks were like the first people in recorded history for the regular working class to
Yeah.
rise up and just murder the shit out of all the bougie people.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah,
right.
I believe the French Revolution was the same thing, right? Like they were like, listen, fuck you, we're starving.
Yeah.
We need some fucking wine and cheese, and we're all fucking getting the guillotine.
Let them eat cake.
Yeah,
The
let them
Russian
eat cake,
Revolution too.
All of it.
Right.
So like almost these revolutions always happen where it hits a tipping point. The working person, I will say working man, but you know,
Yeah,
it's really-
person.
at this point, it's people, right? I think it always was, really, right?
Could have been children. At
The
one
humans.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, the humans that are working and doing all the hard shit eventually are sick of it and they rise up and violently take over. But eventually it just settles down and then some other people, it goes right back to the same old thing. And I'm just like,
That's what
is
this
this what
guy
people
wanted.
want to do? You continuously want to do this over and over and over again?
The problem with this is who manages it. You have to have someone in charge, and then
Humans.
Those guys are like, well, why am I running this and getting the same as those people? Like they're rich, they're getting shit. So
Yeah,
like,
I know.
I mean, Cuba when Fidel took over, and Che Guevara, who's the T-shirt guy,
Yeah.
they murdered every capitalist. They murdered them in Times Square. That's why there's like Cubans that are in Miami that are hardcore Republican because Obama ended that sanctions on Cuba. So they're hardcore Republican because of that, because they think the Republicans have their back. So crazy shit from that little communism.
You watching, did you finish Peaky Blinders season 6?
I have not.
I feel like the whole
I tried
entire
to watch it. I
I
couldn't.
haven't watched
from
it.
season 1 to season 6 is essentially the same time period. There may be like a decade going on there.
Yeah, there's.
But like it's an interesting thing. The world was essentially, all the major countries of the world were up for grabs for a philosophical, like you either had to pick fascism, communism, socialism, which meant a different thing then than it means now. It just meant that like you were for the common man and that everyone should get something, but it wasn't like
Well, I
full
think
blown
it's a socialist party, and like I don't know if that has anything to do
But
with
when you're saying that Karl Marx and this other guy wrote the Communist Manifesto, they articulated their philosophies, but the concept of communism is universal, just like any other concept, right? Like slavery. People talk about slavery like it's this thing that happened in the 1700s in the South, and I'm like, yeah,
It happened and everywhere.
Slavery is something that's been continuously going on since the first ape roped up another ape with a vine and said, like, you have to sweep up this stuff or I'll beat the shit out of you. You know what I mean? Like, it's a concept. They all are. And so it's scary because it's like, you can have a war, like you could have a nuclear fucking holocaust over this shit, wipe everything out, and then some other species, even like maybe pockets of our own species, would eventually repopulate the earth, re-technologicalize shit. I don't even know if that's a word, and it might be. There would be a technologicalism,
Yeah.
and you know, it would be like eventually, again, you'd see the rise of these ideas. Fascism, I don't understand. I'm voting immediately that it's bad because it's associated with the Nazis and these other people. But like, I got to look up the definition. But it's like it seems kind of like nationalism.
Fascism is a far-right, authoritarian, ultra-nationalist political ideology and movement.
It's like a police state
Characterized by dictatorial power, militarism, forcible suppression of opposition, belief in a natural... Come on now.
Come on, baby.
Social hierarchy, subordination of individual interests for the good of the nation, and the strong regimentation of society and the economy that rose prominence in early 20th century Europe.
Yeah, I mean, why would we
Italy,
want to be
Germany.
It seems fucking uptight. It seems like you're trying to control every little minute piece of shit going on in your country. Like, why would you give a shit?
North Korea's communist, but it also seems very
What are you trying to achieve?
dictatorship,
What are you trying to
Yeah.
achieve?
It's like both.
North Korea, yeah.
It's like
I think they're fascist.
Fascist. Yeah.
Fascism
I think fascism would be impossible here.
in the United States of America.
It's too
Yeah.
big.
Like, fuck yeah.
Too many people.
I think everything is
Although
like
people
just
do-
about to become impossible.
Listen,
here.
though, people do get this cult of personality about a leader. Look how people got about Trump. Yeah. Like these Southerners, I'm like,
Did everybody
listen,
get
okay,
that way?
Trump, no, people are into Trump, but like,
Polarized.
but Trump was like a New Yorker, rich, fucking stuck-up yuppie type. You know, and these Southerners in rural areas were like, he's our guy. It's like, he's not for you, and he never was for you. He joked that if I ever run for president, I'm going to change it to a Republican because they're all so stupid, they'll follow me. There's a quote on tape of him saying that.
Yeah, in like
And
the
he
early
did it.
90s.
Oh, no, but then they just defend him no matter what. Like, it makes no sense.
There was this one leader, I want to say it was like Turkmenistan or some shit like that. And it-
Kazakhstan.
Dirkistan.
yeah, and as soon as he came into power, everything he didn't like, he just outlawed, made illegal. Oh, I quit smoking. Not everyone, no smoking.
That's a
I don't- I don't-
dictatorship.
I don't-
Killed, probably, right?
I don't like dogs. No more. No one's allowed to have dogs anymore. Stupid shit like that was like a whole fucking list of these insane things. I'm sure you could. I'm pretty sure it was the leader of Turkmenistan or something.
Fascism is like the opposite of everything I believe in. It's
Yeah.
like, I don't want to be controlled. I don't want you to control anyone else.
Yeah.
Well, that's why people get scared here because, like, they start to see weird shit like that. And they're like, oh, fuck you.
My phone's dead, or I'd look it up.
These people are sick. I don't know
It's
how.
like a secretive dictator. There's one thing that I found: Turkmenistan. What life is like to live inside a secretive dictatorship.
Yeah. See.
Oh, you knew about that?
Fun.
I thought you made that place up.
Oh, it's a real country.
Let's go there. Let's film live there.
Oh, I bet you we couldn't
You
even
never
get
make
in.
it out.
You never make
Like
it
North
in.
Korea, they control everything when you visit.
That WNBA player has been stuck in Russia for like 8 months or something right now. Do you know what I'm talking
Oh
about,
yeah,
Matt?
yeah. Brittany Griner. Yeah,
What the fuck?
yeah.
What is that?
For weed.
For weed?
Oh, that's
She was
terrible.
trying to leave Russia with weed. I think,
How did
and,
you do
and
that?
she got caught.
That's
Yeah.
foolish.
And now
dumb.
she's like in Russia. They don't mess around. They're like,
No.
you're going to jail for 10 years. She's facing a 10-year prison sentence.
In jail?
In a
Russia?
Russian?
In a
oh
gulag?
my
In a
god!
gulag.
Fuck that.
She's gonna come out with like
Why
a
would
big ass
they-
like chest tattoo.
You're talking. You see, this is what I'm talking about, people. Okay, in the audience, if we're boring you with our isms, like these are important fucking things that control everybody's lives. Like this bitch is a basketball player who's fucking in the WNBA. She's out there. She's out there minding her
feminism.
Hey,
Is that coming?
I am a feminist. I don't care what anyone
Oh
says.
my god, you just said bitch.
I'm allowed to say that.
Did you just say you're a feminist?
Totally. I was actually in college. I don't know if you remember
Where'd you
this,
vote on that
Macca.
one?
We had.
Did we vote on that?
I'm just telling you right now. If you look up
can see
You
feminist,
are a
Right.
self-proclaimed feminist.
no. As a matter of fact, I had a hardcore lesbo native. Listen.
Let the audience decide
Listen,
this one.
hardcore lesbian, Native American, biggest chip on her shoulder of all time. She hated the government, hated the white man, hated men, blah blah blah. She was teaching history or an ethics class at UMass Lowell when I went there. And you wouldn't believe this, but like I talked to her a bunch of times, and she was like, "Wow, you're a really good example of like a guy that's actually a feminist." Because the true
But you
definition,
okay, you,
the
might
true
talk of feminism.
No.
You don't practice it, though.
Of course I do. The true definition of feminism is equal treatment and equal pay and equal rights for women, and I hardcore believe in those things.
Okay.
I have a daughter. I raised her to be totally independent, totally equal, totally strong.
Yeah, but part of it is also the oppression of man, and just the fact that you called a woman a bitch is a mistake on your part. That's what I'm saying.
It's just
I think lesbo too. But
those are
Lesbo's about to do it. I knew we'd get to this one. We predicted it.
those are hard. Those are words that I use jokingly.
Me and King, can we tell
they're
this?
short for lesbo is short for lesbian. It's not derogatory.
No, I think it
If
is.
people
might
take
be.
it as derogatory, that's their problem for not being open-minded. But I'm allowed to use. I'm allowed. Sound like a Klingon battleship right now.
So when we were driving here, me and Kingsley were cracking up because we're gonna get to feminism, and Chris is gonna say he's a feminist, and we're gonna argue it, and it happened.
What if you look up the definition? I am.
Okay.
Belief in and
that's so great.
belief in and advocacy of the political, economic, and social equality of the
That's it.
sexes,
Social equality.
expressed especially through organized activity on behalf of women's rights and interests.
That's it.
I just think, listen though, I think you still can't use oppressive terms and be an oppressive man to them, because some of them are going to take that as that, and right away they negate
Listen,
that.
those
Especially
people
the way that
No, the
you
feminists,
talk
though.
about women.
I love
Yes.
women.
I understand that, but the way that you speak about them.
Women make my world go round.
What's the next ism? What are we at?
They really do.
What are we at? Seriously.
Christ.
I'm just telling you that.
I think we just did feminism.
Yeah, we did.
Sean read the definition off the board, and
Right.
if you're gonna sit here and tell me that
Well,
I don't,
by that
all
definition, yes.
You guys all know me. You don't think that I believe in equal rights for all sentient beings, never mind females. I was swimming down at the YMCA the other day, and these Muslim girls were in the pool with their brothers, and their brothers were swimming in fucking swim trunks, and these girls had head-to-toe
yeah.
bodysuits.
Yep.
Because they live in a world
Yeah.
where they have a religious domination over their belief system, which in turn governs their laws, which in turn denies women equal rights. I don't like that. I think it's fucked up.
I don't think many people agree with that.
And-
some people maybe do. But
And I'm not going to parachute into Iraq right now and join and start an underground women's lib movement. That's their responsibility, man.
Yeah.
In our country, in the 50s and 60s, women were burning bras and they were, civil revolting. But when they went home, maybe some of their drunk husbands hit them, but there wasn't they weren't going to jail for speaking out against, in those countries, if the women try to speak out on their own behalf,
Yeah.
they can get arrested. They could disappear, So the reality is the women there have to legitimately fight for their rights.
can I say something controversial actually
Please,
against all this?
please
Not against
do.
you, but I think that in a lot of ways, men should actually be a little bit more careful about how we keep our rights, because I think women in a lot of ways are surpassing us.
I don't think
Elaborate.
I don't think that's true.
You think
Elaborate.
it's true at all?
No.
Elaborate.
Roe v. Wade just got overturned.
Okay,
You're just-
maybe
you're
that
really
negates the
gonna-
whole thing.
Yeah, it does
that,
negate-
that can negate the whole thing. Okay,
We just went back fucking.
all right, I take it back
50
then.
years.
I forgot about Roe v. Wade.
Yeah,
I take it back.
50 years.
However, women, I think where Danny's trying to go is more women are in college than ever in the history of
They're
Earth.
making awesome money. Like,
the
I know
w- in
tons
the-
of women that make awesome money.
In this country or globally?
Probably
No.
this country in specific.
Probably globally too, because
If
they
we look at the whole,
historically
I
just
know
not been
tons of
able to go.
stay-at-home dads. I know tons of women that make more
Lots,
money than their
yeah.
husbands.
Sure.
It's just happening like crazy these days, and I'm just, that's all I'm just saying is, I don't think they have it bad in a lot of ways, but the Roe v. Wade thing did set us back a fuckload of time.
Well, that won't
it's
last.
Insane. I hope. Well, I think
they're going after birth control next.
It won't last.
I heard they're going
That's-
after things like methotrexate, which people take for like cardiac sarcoidosis, because it can cause abortions if you touch it.
contraceptive, which is birth control.
Yeah.
They want to go after that, but they don't. Yeah, they're insane.
Can I just say something about all this too?
Interracial marriage.
I get a feeling that our species will eventually shed a good portion of this shit for a long time.
Let's hope so.
And I'm not joking around on this. I think that psilocybin mushrooms being distributed to the mass population of the humanity.
Oh, if you gave it to
will
those fucking
will
waspy fucking evangelicals out there making these laws?
Well, here's the deal, right? Like what the Nazis knew about, okay, was that to install an ideology in your people and to really do it, you got to start them when they're like 5.
Yeah.
All right. So they had the Hitler.
That's why it's ingrained in these places.
They had the Hitler youth camps. They were teaching kids,
Yeah.
Nazi propaganda. Okay. I'm sure in hardcore times throughout Russian communism, they were teaching the kids like, Russia first, you second, whatever.
In North Korea, they're teaching them that Americans are evil and like that they won the Korean War and stuff.
Who knows what they're teaching them? But the thing with the Islamic religion having such a huge impact on the laws in the countries that it dominates is that they're indoctrinating these kids from basically the time they're born that this is so. Mm-hmm. This is the way things are, and this is how you're going to operate yourself, and these are the expectations. And so humans eventually conform to the expectations most of the time that they're given, or they're what the Amish call shunned, right?
Yeah, I guess.
People don't like shunning. It's a powerful little nonviolent way to like.
That's how the
show
Scientologists
disapproval.
do it.
We don't
they
accept
disconnect
you.
from you.
People are like, oh, I can't handle the non-acceptance. I'll conform.
Well, belonging is a really important thing of human nature.
Yeah.
I know. That's what I'm saying.
Belonging to something.
So they
Even I belong to something.
people indoctrinize these isms into stuff, and right now we've got a historic opportunity because we just got marijuana legalized over the last 5
Yeah, 5-ish.
years, whatever. Marijuana, you can call it whatever you
It's
want.
not federally though.
When you get the right dose of marijuana, you
Yeah.
feel good, and it opens your mind and it expands your consciousness. You have too much, you freak out. Not enough, oh, rookie move, man.
It gets
Oh,
some
my
mental illness.
goodness.
That's me, man. That's my
Wow,
thing.
rookie move. Man.
Rookie move. But when you get the right dosage of weed, it puts you right in the sweet spot. That's magic, okay? Mushrooms, same fucking thing. When you take just the right dosage, it really expands your consciousness. It opens you up emotionally.
Yeah.
You become more empathetic. There's a lot of fucking things that happen to a human being when they do these psychedelic drugs, and like they're powerful goddamn drugs, man. Like you take too much, you're gonna freak out. You do it in
Yeah.
the wrong setting, you have a bad trip.
Yeah.
And that'll scare the shit out of you for the rest of your life. You'll never want to touch them again.
Weed is strong too, and people like to say that like, oh, it's not, it's whatever.
Right now, it's stronger
harmless,
than
but it's
stronger
pretty
than it's
fucking strong.
Stronger than it's ever been.
Oh yeah. Oh, I've had some boomers tell me, oh, you don't know what Maui Wowie is like. In the 80s. I go, no, Maui Wowie today is dirt weed. Sorry.
Shit.
Wow.
Shit.
It's just
we have
genetic.
stores now that sell this shit now. Like seriously.
So
Grow up.
Yeah.
So the DEA, to the best of my knowledge, has taken mushrooms to the bottom of their schedule list, whatever that is.
Yeah, oh yeah. I think
And
a
What
couple,
about marijuana? That's
think
not. Is that
It's right next to marijuana now.
I want to
they
say
changed the schedule of marijuana? That's
Yeah.
amazing.
there's got to be a few
Marijuana and mushrooms this
I
year.
think there's a few states that have already legalized
So the interesting thing about that is
or
that
decriminalized it.
there are states that have decriminalized it, but
Yeah.
weirder than that is that, and I didn't know this was the thing. Okay, it is a real thing apparently. Cambridge, Massachusetts, has decriminalized it.
Ew.
So within
Really?
yes. So and this is going on in other states too. But I just caught wind of it this week because I'm hip to
Yeah.
I cultivate my own fungi, and I'll tell you a funny little story about that.
Wait, you're the hung guy with the fun guy.
I am the hung guy with the fungi.
I thought you just had bad dandruff.
Bazinga.
Actually, there's no hair, so that's not possible.
So apparently towns and counties in different states throughout the union are decriminalizing shrooms because they want them to be used for
Medical.
for
Right.
PTSD, basically psychological disorders,
Right.
depression, whatever. I didn't even know you could
That
do
is
that.
not something I'd want.
I didn't know
when
you
I'm
could just
fucking
be like, yeah,
psychologically low.
in Cambridge you can do this, but
Not in
not-
if you
Somerville.
cross the
Yeah.
imaginary line. It's fucking nuts.
Once you get into Boston, you're fucked.
but so I mean,
Oh, wait, you got shrooms in Somerville, kid? You're fucking pushing it.
it's sweeping the country.
I wouldn't buy shrooms in Somerville.
on
Fuck that.
on Netflix right now. The documentary "Fantastic Fungi" is about
Phenomenal.
fungus in general and what
Yeah.
it does for the planet. But
Yeah.
there's a whole segment on the stoned ape theory.
Pretty much most
and
of it.
it's like 50%
Yeah.
that psilocybin mushrooms are really important for humanity right now. So like, what I'm saying to you is that like there are people that are super egotistical and that they want to like be in power, and something about that drives them, and that's who has historically run the show. And it's something about these chemical compounds that are in hallucinogenics make you not give a shit about that. And so if enough people get on these compounds and it becomes part of our society as like a sacrament and shit,
Right.
or a medicine or whatever, you can give it any definition you want.
Yeah, but only a tiny percentage of people are even open to taking them.
Well, you know what? I agree with that, and I've always felt that way. But let me give you a little 4th of July story. I showed up at a party, 4th of July, with 2 attractive girls, and
Women.
yeah, well,
Bitches.
they
They were lesbos.
they were bad. They're both
Hardcore
they are
lesbos.
they are both bad bitches. I'll
Go
tell you.
ahead.
But I show up with about an ounce and a half of mushrooms on me, right? So we'll call it
A lot.
what's that, like 40 grams,
Ounce and a half.
42 grams.
No, and 14.
14 and-
Yeah,
What's
42 grams.
What's a trip? Like, what would you take?
So like
Like
if,
5 grams is a lot.
3.5.
2 is like tripping.
if you want to trip your balls off, you need 3.5 grams to really get there, and that's like you can really only achieve that like your first time entering it into your body. After that, I think you really need to do like closer to 5 is
Yeah.
what people are saying. But
Yeah, you do build up a tolerance real fast to mushrooms.
yeah, but I can
Very
tell you
fast.
on good authority that my dose is like 1/3 of a gram per day, and that's like a medicinal dose. So I'm like feeling the
Do you feel it?
I'm feeling the cognitive boosts that it provides,
try
but it's
that.
it's not giving me a like it's not getting me high or getting me like I
wanna try that, by the way.
But if
Do
I
you-
take double that much or triple that much, I'm partying my ass off.
Yeah.
Do you feel it in your plums?
Down in my plums, Sean, they're getting swollen and juicy.
Can I remind?
They're ready, fresh for the market.
I want to try
down to the
that
market.
micro.
Yeah, you should.
Yeah, I want to try it. No, soon.
So-
Seriously, I'll do it right now.
Well,
I want to try macro dosing. Has anybody done that?
I
That's
have.
like
Oh, it's
full
fun.
dose. Oh
Yeah,
yeah.
it's fun.
I freaked out.
so listen. So here's
Took a whole quarter.
Scary.
here's the story of the party. Okay, I show up at the party and I have these mushrooms in a container, and I'm walking around like like a normal
Party favors.
like Marty, like Martha Stewart would show up with like some little cheesecake things that like
Oh,
are in
what
a
are
toothpick
these?
and be like,
Ooh.
cheesecake bite. I was walking up
Psilocybin
to people
mushrooms?
and going mushrooms, and I was met with nothing but varying degrees of rejection mixed with like disgust as well as like absolutely not
Yeah.
just no no I can't no I don't touch that shit.
People have inhibitions.
There were
I'd
not
take a handful.
not
I'd
a
be like,
single person at the party wanted any of the mushrooms.
Wow.
And they rejected me unanimously.
Wow.
Wow.
I would have been like,
You're at the wrong party,
I'm not,
buddy.
I'm
Yeah.
not- no, I'm not done yet. At 2:00 in the afternoon.
They got a little lubricated.
As the drinks were flowing and the marijuana was being smoked and the curiosity was percolating, but the main thing that I think triggered it, because at 9:30 that fucking ounce and a half of shrooms was wiped the fuck out. Everybody,
Oh my god.
every single person at the party, even Jeff, who's never done anything, he took a little bit of shrooms because everyone else was doing it. And so there's an enormous power to everyone else is
Yeah.
doing
Was
it.
this like a
Peer
drinking
pressure.
party? It's like a drinking party.
Peer pressure, but more. It's not peer pressure. It's just acceptance, right?
yeah,
Everyone
that's
else was
true.
doing it,
Yeah.
and they were curious, so they were like, "Fuck it, I'll try it."
Yeah, yeah.
And by like 10 p.m., man, there was a fucking raging bonfire. People were shooting bottle rockets and throwing M80s at each other.
that's
People were
good.
dancing.
That sounds like a
it
good
was
party.
not
We did
safe.
fireworks on Winter Hill. We did fireworks on Winter Hill Drive this year. We lit off some mortars.
Yeah.
Well, I'm just telling you that I walk into this party and every single person in there straight up rejected the idea of taking any. But by the end of the party, they were wiped
yeah.
out and everybody was having a blast. And
great.
according to my calculations, if you divide the 42 grams, it was like everyone
grams
had,
a person?
Everyone had like 1.5.
Yeah.
One.
Yeah.
Some people would do like a whole
Yeah,
handful.
yeah.
Other people like, I'll just try one. But I'm telling you right now, everybody had a blast.
Oh,
and I got
that's great.
so many messages the next day. Everyone was like, next year bring double that amount, blah blah blah. So
that's so
I went
funny.
from being like completely rejected and disgusted that we don't want anything to do with those things to, well, I guess if everyone else is doing it, I'll try a couple.
Yeah.
And that showed me right then and there the power of
Acceptance.
what the crowd doing something will do to you, and it also demonstrated the text. Yeah, we're almost done.
Yeah.
The text messages the next day of how the reaction of what a great time people had.
Yeah.
That was the proof was in the pudding.
Yeah.
If you try just the right dosage of mushrooms, man, you're gonna really, really enjoy life much
Right.
better.
Awesome.
What ism is that?
That's a shamanism.
Okay, perfect.
Shamanism. You know,
You can do shamanism.
it's not has anything
I
to do with.
don't know enough about
well-
shamanism to weigh in.
The devil is just
You've done shrooms at least before.
Oh yeah, many times.
Did you enjoy it?
The last time I did not because
Bad trip, bad setting?
It was no, I took too much. I ate a quarter. It was just too much. I thought I was in a trip. After 8 hours of tripping, I thought I was going to get stuck like that. I started freaking out.
It's a long, powerful journey.
Yeah.
It's emotional. So like if you've
It
never
was.
tripped out
and I
on
was
like a full
alone
dose,
too. You know what I mean? So
like on the documentary, they've got like these clinics where people have got like a blindfold on and they've got they're listening to soothing sounds.
Yeah.
And there's a person holding their hand, like telling them everything's okay because they're being confronted with like basically their own emotions and oftentimes memories that were suppressed. And
my mom wants to do them. She's like, I want to grab some before we go to Maine this year.
I know a guy.
Yeah, I know a guy
Yeah.
too. And so she's like, yeah, I want to do some. And I was like, you know what? I think I might be open to doing some this year. I haven't done.
I'll do
them.
some. I'll
I
do
haven't
some
done
too.
them since that
Hey, when
that
the kids are in
episode.
bed in front of the fire.
No, I want to bring them to your parents' house.
Oh, when the kids aren't there.
Yeah, when they're not there. I don't.
Just make sure you're camping
yeah,
in
that's true.
Cambridge,
They shouldn't be
Massachusetts when you do that because otherwise it's illegal.
A lot of good campsites in Cambridge.
Yeah,
sure
yeah,
are.
Yeah,
They sure are.
there's a few bridges.
All right.
Yeah.
So thanks for listening on the show, guys and gals. And
Jofus.
Jofus from
Jofus.
Jofus Foster from
Tiffy-lificans.
Tiffy-lificans, yeah.
Cunnilingus.
And then, hey, listen, if you're a fan of the show and you like it and you want to get more involved, I think I want to start taking this thing to like a nonprofit level where we can do some fundraising. And we are definitely looking for sponsors, patrons, whatever we can do, because we need to start an advertising budget, and I feel like we need some sponsors for that. So it'd be really cool if, like, I don't know, you were like a big plumbing company, like, I don't know, randomly, like, just pick one off, Denomi Plumbing and Heating. They seem to have a lot of trucks on the road. They spend a lot of money on advertising, just from what I'm seeing. And I feel like if they're fans of the show, they should sponsor us. And I don't know what a reasonable budget for a sponsorship would be, but I'm thinking like a couple $100 a month, get some commercials going. We're going to tell everyone in the area that they should have all their plumbing done by the Denomi Plumbing and Heating.
You know how we go outside before we come in?
Because they should.
We have a lot of funny moments out there. We should make videos of that when we're outside, and that can
Extras.
go on our Instagram as a little extra every week for the episode.
Real.
And get a Patreon going, which we should do, because then we can have some patrons who pay, whatever they want for our.
You're saying you've already been thinking about this, and this is a different avenue for us to take to achieve that.
Yeah.
All right.
And I
I'm
think
glad
the
we're on the
videos
same
up front
page.
would be good too. Because every week we have an episode, be like, check out the episode, and we could just do a little thing up front, like, there's a fucking penguin out there. We saw a penguin.
I decided this week.
He swam back to the North Pole.
There was junkie-
South Pole.
Or Antarctica, yeah.
Yeah, South Pole, whatever.
There was
It's fucking the poles.
One of the poles.
He loves a pole.
He does. All right. Well, thanks for listening, everyone. Pick your favorite political ism and try to get it indoctrinated into society and into
Pretty
your
much.
children.
Make up a new
If
one.
you want them to believe it, you got to teach them from the time they're born, and that's the best way to invoke change. So
I want to start an ism right now.
what is it?
Who she ism.
Who she
I was
is?
gonna say, support your local feminist. Eat some pussy.
I'm a feminist. That's all I got. Peace.